I always thought my 29th birthday would be the day my life truly began. Instead, it was the day everything I believed in shattered into a million glittering pieces, like the champagne glass I'd later throw against my bathroom wall. My name is Victoria, and this is the story of how I learned that karma doesn't need your help. It just needs your patience. You look gorgeous, babe. Nathan kissed my cheek as I adjusted my emerald green dress in the mirror of our favorite restaurant's private room. Friends and family were already filling in, carrying wrapped presents and wearing expectant smiles. I caught Robin's eye as she set up a camera in the corner, and she gave me a knowing wink. "Tonight's the night," she'd texted me earlier. I saw the jewelry store bag in his car. My heart fluttered as Nathan's hand brushed my lower back. After 6 years together, it felt right. Perfect, even. My mother Esther was actually behaving herself for once. My sister Maggie seemed genuinely happy to be there, and even Nathan's best friend Gianna had helped arrange everything. Speech time. Robin clinked her glass after the entrees were cleared. Nathan wants to say something special. I smoothed my dress, trying to control my breathing. This was it. The moment I'd been dreaming of since... Gianna. Nathan's voice cracked as he stood up. Could you come here for a second? The room went silent. My smile froze as Nathan walked past me, straight to where Gianna sat. She covered her mouth, tears already forming in her eyes. You've been my best friend since we were kids, he continued, dropping to one knee. But lately, I've realized you're so much more than that. The ring he pulled out caught the light, sending prismatic sparkles across the walls. It was vintage, with a massive diamond center stone, exactly the style I'd shown him in magazines. Will you marry me? Gianna's yes pierced through the stunned silence. Cheers erupted. Glasses clinked. Someone popped another bottle of champagne. I sat there, still wearing my plastic smile as my mother rushed to hug them both. I always knew you two would end up together, she gushed, not even glancing my way. Robin appeared at my side, gripping my hand under the table. What the actual fuck? She whispered. Here's your gift, Victoria. Nathan handed me an envelope, beaming like nothing was wrong. Sorry it's not much. Been saving up for something else, you know? Inside was a $50 gift card to Home Goods. Didn't think you'd mind, he said later by the bar, while Gianna showed off her ring to my sister. I mean, we're all friends here. And Gianna and we have history. History, I repeated, my voice hollow. 6 years together and I'm getting dumped on my birthday for history? Not dumped. We can still be friends. You're like family to us both. I excused myself to the bathroom, legs somehow carrying me despite feeling like they'd turned to jelly. The mirror showed my reflection. Mascara still perfect, lipstick unsmudged, eyes dead. My phone buzzed, a text from Maggie. Don't make a scene. Mom's so happy right now. Another buzz, this time from Gianna. I hope you understand. It just happened naturally. Love you. I grabbed my champagne glass and hurled it into the sink. The crash was satisfying, shards scattering like the pieces of my dignity. Never again, I whispered to my reflection, watching a single tear finally break free. Never fucking again. A knock at the door made me jump. Vic? It was Robin. I've got your coat and purse. My car's out back. We can leave whenever you're ready. I took one last look in the mirror, wiped away the tear, and reapplied my lipstick. 6 years of memories flashed through my mind. The late-night drives, the inside jokes, the family holidays, the promises of forever. All of it meant nothing. But I wouldn't cry. Not here. Not now. I opened the door to find Robin waiting, her face a mixture of rage and concern. Ready? Yeah, I said, straightening my spine. I think it's time for me to leave my own party. As we slipped out the back door, I could still hear the celebrations continuing without me. My birthday party had turned into their engagement party, and somehow I'd become the uninvited guest. Little did I know, this wasn't the end of my story. It was just the beginning. 3 days after my birthday disaster, I still hadn't left my apartment. My phone kept buzzing with messages I couldn't bear to read, But Robin had practically moved in, bringing coffee and takeout while I existed in a cocoon of blankets and Netflix. You need to see these, Robin said, holding out her phone. I know it hurts, but you deserve to know the truth. Screenshots, dozens of them. Text messages between Nathan and Gianna from weeks before my birthday. My stomach churned as I scrolled. Nathan. She'll never see it coming. Perfect cover using her B-day. Gianna. What if she makes a scene? Nathan. Nah, Vic's too nice. Plus her mom thinks it's romantic. There's more, Robin said quietly. Check the group chat. I found myself in a conversation I'd been excluded from. My sister Maggie was there, along with my mother and several friends. Maggie. Nathan told me his plans. Don't tell Vic. Mom. Finally. Gianna's family has much better connections. Maggie. Plus, she won't waste it on interior design dreams, lol. The phone slipped from my hands. My own sister? Victoria? Robin's voice was careful. There's something else. Gianna's already posted their engagement photos. They did a shoot the morning before your party. My fingers shook as I opened Instagram. There they were, dozens of perfectly staged photos. Nathan and Gianna in a sunlit field, the ring prominently displayed. The caption read, "When you realize your best friend was your soulmate all along. Sorry for keeping it quiet." The comments were worse. OMG, finally. You two were meant to be. The perfect couple. What about Victoria? This one was quickly deleted. My doorbell rang, making me jump. Robin checked the peephole and her face darkened. It's Maggie. Let her in, I said, standing up. I want to hear her explain this. Maggie burst in, all fake concern and designer perfume. Why aren't you answering anyone's calls? Mom's worried sick. Worried? I laughed, holding up my phone. About what? That I might ruin her perfect future in-laws? You saw the chat. Maggie's face hardened. Look, someone had to be honest. You and Nathan were never going to work. He needs someone more ambitious. Ambitious? Robin stepped forward. She runs her own design firm. Please, Maggie sneered. Playing with throw pillows isn't a career. Gianna's family has connections. Real ones. It's not my fault you're always the afterthought, Victoria. Maybe if you'd tried harder. The slap echoed through my apartment before I even realized my hand had moved. Maggie touched her cheek, eyes wide. Get out, I whispered. Get out of my home. You'll regret this, Maggie hissed. When you're alone with your precious designs while Gianna's living the life you wanted. The life I wanted? I grabbed my phone, pulling up the screenshots. You mean the life you all planned to steal from me? While pretending to love me? We did love you. We just knew what was best. No. My voice was steady now. You knew what was best for you. All of you. Now get out before I post these screenshots and show everyone exactly how this romantic proposal really happened. After she left, Robin pulled me into a hug. You okay? No, I admitted. But I will be. First, I need to make some changes. I opened my phone and started typing. Dear valued clients, I will be taking a brief sabbatical to focus on expanding my business. All current projects will continue under my associate's supervision. Next, I opened my personal Instagram and unfollowed everyone except Robin. Then I changed my profile picture to a simple black square. What are you doing? Robin asked. Getting ready, I replied, deleting photos of the last 6 years. They want to pretend none of it happened? Fine, but I'm not playing nice anymore. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Nathan. Can we talk? I miss my best friend. I blocked his number without responding. You know what the worst part is? I told Robin, looking out my window at the city below. They all thought I was too nice to fight back. Too sweet to stand up for myself. And now? I smiled, but it wasn't the same smile I'd worn at my birthday party. This one had edges. Now they get to learn exactly how wrong they were. 3 months can change everything. While Gianna flooded Instagram with the FER couple goals posts and wedding planning updates, I was quietly rebuilding myself, one piece at a time. Your turn, Dr. Sarah said during our weekly therapy session. What's different about today compared to last week? I pulled out my journal. I went to the gym every morning, landed 2 new corporate clients, and I didn't check their social media. Not once. And how does that feel? Like breathing again. The truth was, I'd been too busy to stalk their perfect life narrative. My design firm was expanding, and I'd just finished transforming the Hamilton Art Gallery's East Wing into something modern newspapers were calling boldly innovative. That's where I met Damien. The lighting in here, he said, studying the crystal fixtures I'd installed. It makes everything feel alive. I turned to find a tall man in a well-fitted suit looking at my work with genuine interest. Not at me. At my work. That's the idea, I replied. Art needs to breathe. I'm Damien, and you must be Victoria. Your reputation precedes you. We talked for an hour about design philosophy and the psychology of spaces. No pickup lines, no games, just real conversation. Coffee sometime? He asked as he left. Simple, direct, respectful. I surprised myself by saying yes. Later that week, Robin burst into my office waving her phone. Holy shit, you need to see this. She pulled up Gianna's Instagram. The perfectly curated feed of engagement bliss had been wiped clean. Every photo with Nathan, gone. Instead, there was a single new post. Gianna at some charity gala, practically draped over a distinguished-looking man tagged as Hayden Ellis. The comments were chaos. What happened to Nathan? Weren't you just posting about wedding venues yesterday? Hey, Nathan, you okay, bro? Karma's finally showing up to work. Robin grinned. I almost feel bad for him, I said, but my phone buzzed before I could continue. Unknown number. It's Nathan. Please, I really need to talk to someone. I blocked the number. Another buzz. Different number. Vic, please, I'm outside your apartment. Don't you dare answer that, Robin warned, but I was already grabbing my coat. I'm not, I assured her. I'm heading to coffee with Damien. The cafe was small, tucked away from the main streets. Damien was already there, 2 cups waiting. You seem distracted, he noted. My ex is camping outside my apartment, I admitted. Apparently his fiancée, the woman he left me for at my birthday party, just publicly dumped him for someone else. I waited for the awkward pause, the careful retreat most men would make from this drama. Instead, Damien laughed. Sorry, he said, catching my expression. It's just, that's some spectacular karma. It should feel better than it does, I admitted. Maybe because you're not the same person they hurt anymore, he suggested. You've moved on, built something real. My phone buzzed again. Nathan. Please, I'm soaked. It's raining. Just 5 minutes. Damien noticed my frown. Want to get out of here? I know a gallery opening across town. God, yes. As we left, I caught our reflection in the window. Me, in my designer blazer and confidence. Damien, solid and genuine beside me. We looked right. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Robin. Nathan's still here. Want me to call the cops? No, I typed back. Let him stand in the rain. I'm busy living my life. I turned to Damien. Tell me about this gallery. Actually, he smiled. I was thinking we could make a weekend of it. There's this amazing vineyard in Napa. I hesitated. It felt fast, but also right. Like the universe was finally dealing the cards in my favor. You know what? Yes. As we walked to his car, I could feel my phone vibrating in my purse. Nathan, probably still pleading in the rain. Gianna, maybe trying to explain. My sister, possibly attempting damage control. But for the first time in months, I didn't care about their drama. I was too busy watching my future unfold in front of me, bright and untarnished by their shadows. Sometimes karma doesn't need your help. It just needs you to get out of its way and live your best life. Remember our first date at Tony's? Nathan's voice cracked as he sat across from me at the coffee shop. After 3 hours of incessant calls, I'd finally agreed to meet him, in public, with Robin watching from 2 tables away. Remember how you proposed to someone else at my birthday party? I countered, stirring my untouched latte. He looked terrible. Designer shirt wrinkled, eyes red-rimmed, that carefully styled hair now a mess. Good. She left me for Hayden Ellis, he said, as if I hadn't seen the social media explosion. Didn't even give the ring back, just moved on, like I meant nothing. Sounds familiar. That's different, he protested. You and I, we were real. Gianna was just what? The woman you secretly planned to propose to while pretending to love me? He flinched. You saw the messages? I saw everything, including my sister and mother plotting behind my back. Look. He leaned forward, eyes desperate. I made a horrible mistake. You were the real thing, Vic. The ring's still in my drawer. We could start over. My phone buzzed. A text from Damien. Confirmed our Napa reservations. Can't wait for this weekend. No, I said, standing up. We can't. Please. Nathan grabbed my hand. Remember that road trip to the coast? How we stayed up all night talking about our future? The house we planned to build? I pulled my hand away. I remember believing every lie you told me. They weren't lies. I was just confused. But I'm sure now, you're the one I want. The one you want? I laughed. Or the one who's left? His face crumpled. Both. Neither. I don't know. I just know I miss you. You miss having someone who'd put up with your bullshit. I corrected him. Someone who'd smile through the disrespect because she thought love meant making yourself smaller. That's not... It is. I grabbed my purse. And you know what the saddest part is? I actually feel sorry for you. Because you had something real and you traded it for an Instagram fantasy. I walked out, Robin falling into step beside me. The fresh air felt clean, purifying. You okay? She asked. Surprisingly, yes. My phone buzzed again. A delivery notification. Roses arriving at my office. The card read, Forever late, but forever yours. Nathan, want me to throw them out when they arrive? Robin offered. No, I smiled. Send them to the children's hospital down the street. Someone should get joy from them. Back at my office, I focused on finalizing the Napa trip details with Damien. He'd booked us separate rooms, respectful, not presumptuous. Every interaction with him felt like that. Considered, genuine, adult. Your ex sent flowers? He texted after I mentioned it. Trying to recreate the past. I replied. The past is overrated. I prefer the present. Speaking of which, pack something nice for Saturday night. I've got reservations somewhere special. I caught myself smiling at my phone like a teenager. Another message popped up. From Gianna this time. We need to talk. About Nathan. About everything. Delete. Then my mother. Nathan's hurting. You're being cruel. Block. Finally, Nathan again. Check your mailbox. Left something important. I did. After work. Inside was a small velvet box and a letter. Dear Victoria, this was always meant for you. I bought it 3 months before your birthday. Then I got scared. Confused. Gianna seemed safer somehow. Familiar. Less intense. I know now that I was running from real love toward a fantasy. Please, give me another chance to be the man you deserve. Nathan. The ring was beautiful. Classic. Exactly what I'd wanted back then. I walked to the nearby park and found a young couple sitting on a bench, clearly in love but wearing no rings. Here. I handed them the box. May it bring you better luck than it brought me. My phone lit up with Damien's message. Packed for Napa yet? Working on it, I replied, feeling lighter with each step home. Can't wait. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. It's getting better. And as I packed my bags for a weekend with someone who'd never make me question my worth, I realized I'd never felt better in my life. "I heard you're seeing someone new," my mother said, stirring her tea with disapproval. I'd agreed to Sunday brunch, hoping time had softened her stance. I was wrong. "Yes, Damien, he's wonderful." "Wonderful doesn't pay the bills," she sniffed. "Nathan has a real career. He's still asking about you, you know." "Mother, you weren't strong enough to keep a man like Nathan," she continued as if I hadn't spoken. "Always too focused on your little decoration business. Gianna knew how to be a proper girlfriend." "You mean she knew how to scheme behind my back?" I set my cup down hard enough to rattle the saucer. "With your help?" "Don't be dramatic. We were trying to help you save face. We knew you'd never measure up to what Nathan needed." "What's that supposed to mean?" I demanded. "It means," Maggie's voice cut in as she appeared at our table, uninvited and unwelcome, "that some of us understand family obligations better than others." "Maggie," our mother beamed, "join us. Victoria was just being difficult." Maggie sat down, eyeing my designer blazer with obvious jealousy. "Some things never change." "Actually," I stood up, "some things do change. Like me finally seeing both of you clearly." "Don't start," Maggie warned. "I saw those screenshots you threatened to post. You wouldn't dare." "No?" I pulled out my phone. "The ones where you fed Gianna information about my therapy sessions? Or the ones where you helped plan how to humiliate me at my own birthday?" My mother's face paled. "You kept those?" "I kept everything." I turned to Maggie. "Want to tell Mom about the money you borrowed from Nathan? The real reason you pushed him toward Gianna?" "That's a lie." Maggie stood up so fast her chair scraped loudly against the floor. "Is it? Should we call Nathan and ask? I'm sure he'd love to explain why you suddenly paid off your credit cards right after the proposal." "You vindictive little—" My phone buzzed. A text from Robin. "Check Instagram now." There it was. Proof I wasn't crazy. Screenshots of old conversations between Maggie and Gianna, discussing their plan, the money, everything. Robin had finally pulled the trigger. "What have you done?" Maggie whispered, staring at her own phone. "Me? Nothing. Karma's doing all the work." "Take it down," my mother hissed. "People are watching." "Let them watch," I replied, gathering my things. "Let them see exactly what family means to you. You'll regret this," Maggie called after me as I walked away. "When you're alone with your precious career while everyone else has real lives." I turned back one last time. I'd rather be alone than surrounded by snakes pretending to be family. Outside, my phone exploded with notifications. The screenshots were going viral. Comments poured in. "OMG, the sister planned it all. This is why I have trust issues. That poor birthday girl." I posted a single update. "If you plant poison, don't expect roses." Robin called immediately. "Holy shit, it's everywhere. Gianna's trying to deny everything, but people are digging up all their old posts now. The timeline doesn't match their love story at all." "Good," I said, sliding into my car. "Let them scramble." "Your mom's calling me. Should I—" "Block her. Block them all." Later that night, curled up on my couch, I got a text from Damien. "Saw the drama online. You okay?" "Better than okay," I replied. "Finally free. Want company? I make a mean hot chocolate." 20 minutes later, we sat on my balcony watching the city lights. No pressure, no games, just peace. "You know," he said quietly, "it takes real strength to walk away from toxic family. Feels more like survival. Same thing sometimes." He took my hand. "You're not alone, you know, not anymore." My phone buzzed again. Maggie from a new number. "Mom's crying. Fix this." I turned off my phone without responding and leaned into Damien's warmth. The truth was already out there, doing its work. Sometimes the best revenge isn't plotting or scheming. Sometimes it's just letting the truth speak for itself. And as the city glittered below us, I finally understood. I hadn't lost a family. I'd freed myself from one that never deserved me in the first place. Napa Valley's sunlight filtered through the vineyard leaves as Damien and I walked between the rows of grapes. After 3 days of wine tasting, gourmet dinners, and genuine conversation, I felt more like myself than I had in years. "Tell me about the proposal again," Damien said, his hand warm in mine. "The whole story this time." I hesitated. "You sure? It's not exactly romantic weekend material." "I want to know everything about you, even the hard parts, especially those." So I told him. Every detail. The birthday party, the screenshots, my sister's betrayal, my mother's cruel words. When I finished, he stopped walking and turned to face me. "That wasn't your loss," he said firmly. "That was theirs." Before I could respond, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. My heart stopped. "This isn't a proposal," he said quickly, opening it to reveal an elegant emerald ring. "It's a promise. From my grandmother's collection. She gave it to me years ago, said to save it for someone special." "Damien, you don't have to wear it. I just want you to have it. To know that someone sees your worth. Really sees it." I slipped it onto my right hand where it caught the sunlight perfectly. No public spectacle, no hidden agenda. Just a quiet moment between two people choosing each other. Back at the hotel, I opened my laptop to check work emails and found myself creating a new blog instead. Anonymous. Raw. Honest. Title: The Almost Proposal. I typed out everything. How it felt to be betrayed. The aftermath. The healing. Within hours, comments flooded in. "This happened to me too." "I'm crying reading this. Please tell us more." My phone buzzed with a news alert. Social media power couple announces engagement. Gianna Hamilton to wed prominent attorney Hayden Ellis in winter ceremony. The article included photos of them at some charity gala. Gianna wearing a massive diamond that made her previous engagement ring look like costume jewelry. Her quote made me laugh out loud. "When you know, you know." Hayden and I have a connection that's just different from anything I've experienced before. Damien read it over my shoulder and snorted. "Didn't she say the exact same thing about Nathan?" "Word for word," I confirmed, opening Instagram to find Nathan had already started his spiral. Sometimes what looks like love is just another lie. Betrayed, H karma harms your hurting. My phone lit up with his text. "You were always the one. Please just talk to me." Delete. "Your blog's going viral," Damien noted, pointing to my laptop screen. The view count was skyrocketing. "People connect with truth," I said, closing the computer, "even when it's messy." Speaking of truth, he sat beside me on the hotel bed. "I have a confession." My stomach tightened. "I've been looking at houses in the city," he continued, "and I keep imagining them with your designs, with you in them." Relief and warmth flooded through me. "That's quite a confession." "I know it's fast," he admitted, "but when you know, don't you dare quote Gianna." I laughed, hitting him with a pillow. He caught my hand, his thumb brushing over the emerald ring. "Move in with me? Not now, but soon? We'll find a place together. Do it right." Instead of panic, I felt peace. This was how it should be. No games, no manipulation, just two people building something real. "Yes," I said simply. My phone buzzed again. "Nathan. Saw the blog. I know it's about us. Please call me." I turned off my phone and turned to Damien. "Want to help me write the next blog post?" "About what?" "About how sometimes losing everything is just making room for something better." He pulled me close, and I caught our reflection in the hotel window. Me wearing his grandmother's ring, him looking at me like I was something precious. Behind us, the Napa Valley stretched out endless and beautiful, like all the possibilities ahead of us. "You know what's funny?" I said softly. "I used to think love had to hurt to be real. And now? Now I know it's supposed to feel like coming home." The emerald ring sparkled on my finger. Not as a claim or a trap, but as a promise of better things to come. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. It's getting everything you actually deserved in the first place. The rain pounded against my windows as thunder cracked overhead. Perfect weather for a cozy night in, except for one thing. Nathan was standing on my porch, soaking wet, refusing to leave. "I'm not going anywhere until you hear me out," he shouted through the door. "Please, Vic, I'm dying out here." Robin's text flashed on my phone. "Want me to call the cops?" "No," I replied. "Time to end this." I opened the door, stepping onto the covered porch. Nathan's expensive suit was ruined, his hair plastered to his face. He looked pathetic, but for once I felt nothing. "5 minutes," I said. "Then you leave. I've read every post on your blog," he started. "I know it's you. The way you write, I'd know it anywhere." "Is that why you're here? To discuss my writing?" "I'm here because you're right. About everything. The manipulation, the lies, how I treated you." He stepped closer. "I took you for granted. Chose wrong, but I can fix it." Lightning illuminated his face as he dropped to his knees. Not in a proposal this time, but in desperation. "Please," he begged. "Give me another chance. I'll do it right this time. We can start fresh. Forget the past." "Stand up," I interrupted. "You're embarrassing yourself." "I love you." "No," I said calmly. "You loved how I stayed loyal through your disrespect. You loved having someone who would smile through your lies, who would make herself smaller to fit your ego." "That's not true. Remember that night at the beach house? When we talked about our future? That was real." The memory flickered. Us on the deck, planning our lives. But now I saw what I couldn't then. How every plan centered around his dreams, his career, his wishes. "You never loved me," I continued. "You loved having me. There's a difference. I can prove it's different now." He reached into his pocket, pulling out a ring box. "I still have it. The one I bought before I messed everything up. We can—" I held up my left hand, letting the porch light catch the diamond there. Not his grandmother's emerald ring. A new one. Perfect and bright and chosen just for me. "What? What is that?" His voice cracked. "My engagement ring. From someone who's never made me his second choice." The box fell from his hands, hitting the wet porch with a soft thud. "When?" he whispered. "Last night. Damien made dinner at home. Just us. No audience, no schemes, no hidden agendas. He got down on one knee and said he couldn't imagine his life without me in it. But I was going to—" "Going to what? Propose again? After you chose Gianna? After she chose someone else? After you realized you had no other options left?" Thunder rolled again as Nathan slumped against the porch railing. I really messed up, didn't I? "Yes," I said simply. "You did. Does he—" Nathan swallowed hard. "Does he make you happy?" "He makes me feel valued, respected, loved." I touched my ring gently. "Everything you couldn't give me because you were too busy looking for something better." "There was nothing better," he whispered. "I know that now, but you had to lose me to figure it out." Headlights swept across the porch as Damien's car pulled into the driveway. Nathan straightened up, trying to salvage some dignity. "That's my cue to leave," I said, turning toward the door. "Victoria?" Nathan's voice was small now. "I really am sorry." "I know, but sorry doesn't change the past. It just means you finally understand what you lost." Damien was walking up the path, concern evident on his face. I met him halfway, letting him pull me close despite the rain. "Everything okay?" he asked, eyeing Nathan. "Perfect," I replied, loud enough for Nathan to hear. "Just taking out the trash." We went inside, leaving Nathan in the storm. Through the window, I watched him pick up his fallen ring box and walk away, shoulders slumped, finally understanding that some things can't be fixed with grand gestures or midnight apologies. Sometimes they can't be fixed at all. And sometimes that's exactly how it should be. Ready? Damien squeezed my hand as we stood outside the grand ballroom. Inside, the charity gala was in full swing, the same one where Gianna had first connected with Hayden. Born ready, I smiled, adjusting my emerald green dress. The same color I'd worn on that fateful birthday, but this time I wore it like armor. We stepped in just as Gianna was commanding attention at the center of the room, Hayden notably absent. Her voice carried across the crowd. I know there have been rumors, but Hayden and I are stronger than ever. Interesting, Robin whispered, appearing beside me with her phone. Because Hayden just posted that he's in Paris, with his ex-wife. The whispers started immediately. Phones lit up around the room as people checked social media. Gianna's perfect mask slipped for just a moment before she spotted me. Victoria. She air-kissed in my direction. I didn't expect to see you here. Wouldn't miss it, I replied smoothly. My design firm handled the renovations. The committee insisted. Her eyes darted to my engagement ring, then to Damien. How nice. Nathan mentioned you'd moved on. Speaking of moving on, Robin chimed in sweetly. How's Hayden enjoying Paris? The color drained from Gianna's face. Before she could respond, my mother and Maggie swept into our circle, clearly trying to salvage the situation. Victoria, my mother started. Surely we can put the past behind us. Actually, I cut in, we can. My book deal was just finalized this morning. Book deal? Maggie's voice cracked. The Almost proposal is being published. The blog resonated with so many people, they wanted the full story. I smiled. Don't worry, I changed all the names. You can't? Maggie began, but Damien stepped forward. Actually, she can. And did. The advance was quite impressive. My mother's face hardened. You'd humiliate your family for money? No, I said quietly. I'm telling my truth so other women know they deserve better than what you all thought I should settle for. The crowd had thinned around us, giving us space but definitely listening. Gianna's phone kept buzzing. Probably more notifications about Hayden's Paris photos. You know, I continued, I spent so long being angry, planning revenge, but watching you all implode without my help, that's been better than anything I could have orchestrated. We were trying to protect you, my mother insisted. No, you were trying to control me. But look around, who needs protecting now? As if on cue, Nathan stumbled into our circle, clearly having had too much champagne. Gianna, tell them it's not true about Hayden. Nathan, she hissed. Not now. Why not? He laughed bitterly. We're all here, one big happy family of liars. Robin was quietly filming everything on her phone. Tomorrow this would be everywhere, but for once I didn't care about the drama. I turned to Damien. Dance with me? He led me to the floor just as the band started playing. Over his shoulder, I watched my past imploding. Gianna fleeing the room in tears, Nathan calling after her, my mother and sister standing frozen in social humiliation. Having regrets? Damien asked softly. Not one, I replied, letting him spin me. They all chose their paths. I chose mine. My ring caught the light as we danced, sending sparkles across the floor. Not because it was expensive, though it was. Not because it was perfect, though it is. But because it was mine. Earned through growth, not given through guilt. Offered with love, not wielded as a weapon. Ready to go home? Damien asked as the song ended. Actually, I smiled. I've never felt more at home than I do right now. We left them all behind. The schemers, the liars, the manipulators. They'd have to find new targets for their games, new audiences for their dramas. But as Damien and I stepped out into the night, my ring sparkling under the stars, I finally understood. Sometimes the happy ending isn't about getting revenge or even getting even. Sometimes it's about getting free. And as we drove away from the chaos we didn't create, I felt nothing but peace. Because the best revenge really is living well, especially when you get to watch karma handle everything else.